everybody. Welcome back to the MaC AttaC Podcast with everybody's sweetheart, me, JB Mac. Today on the show, I have the pleasure of speaking with everybody's favorite Asian, author and host of the Far Out Wisdom Podcast, and my friend, Boonn Hem. Today we chat about everything from creepy Joe Biden to what makes a man sexy. So go ahead and hop in, strap up, and enjoy the ride. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is episode 2 of the MaC AttaC Podcast. I'm here with my favorite little Asian, Boonn Hem.
I'm your little dumpling.
Sorry?
I'm your little dumpling. I'm your little dumpling. I'm your little dumpling.
Little dumpling. She is, as you guys know, the host of the Far Out Wisdom Podcast. She is my mentor. She's absolutely lovely. And her and I are just kind of gonna bullshit around today. So
yeah, we're just gonna rant. And I love when JB rants. She just like goes on, and she's not really angry about it. It's like adorable. It's like watching a little mouse just like
That's like the opposite of what I like to hear when I'm upset about something, but that's fine.
Because
so what I wanted.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. It's hard. This is hard for us because we're both hosts. So yeah. I think it's natural for her to try to lead, and then I'm still learning how to. So
you can put a chain on me if you want to. Go for it. I'm just gonna follow along. So this is your podcast, and I'm really excited. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited for her. And like before we were having this conversation, I said that so I have a different microphone than she does, and I told her, I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just pay $60 for you to upgrade your equipment." And she's like, "No, don't, girl. I'm gonna be your fucking sugar mama."
Oh, I got an Asian sugar mama. I'm living the dream. I'm so excited.
Go ahead.
All right. So, back to the rant. I had the pleasure, I should say, of being hospitalized for the past 2 days. I have a heart condition and it flared up. So I'm not going to mention the name of the hospital because I don't want them to sue me at any point, but it is a hospital that is in Orlando. It was fucking horrible. I go in there, first things first, to the ER. They have a registration outside, which is fine. Like, everyone's freaking out about COVID, blah, blah, blah. They forced me to put a mask on, which in any other situation, I'd be like, no, fuck you, I'm not wearing one. But because it is the hospital, I'm like, okay, whatever. So I put it on. I go in. I tell them why I'm there. Now, keep in mind that this is not my first rodeo with AFib. Like, I've been to the hospital, and I've been hospitalized at least 8 times in the past 2 years for this. So I let them know why I'm there. They take me back. The first thing they always do is give me an EKG to make sure that I am, in fact, an AFib. Now, when you have AFib, and I'm sure some of you do, it's pretty common, you can feel when you're an AFib because the offbeat beats against your chest. So I know I'm an AFib. I feel dizzy. My heart's not pumping right. I know this. I get back there, and this little shit in triage, they keep calling him the paramedic. I'm guessing he was a student. He was very young. He gives me my EKG. First of all, he's so shy around my boobs because they have to put those leads on. He's absolutely freaking out that he has to touch my chest. I don't know if he is just like some little virgin or if he's gay and my boobs repulsed him or what. So definitely unprofessional. I'm like, listen, dude, they're just boobs. And he's like, okay. So he puts the leads on, gives me the EKG, looks at it, and has the audacity to say, oh, it just looks like normal rhythm to me. I'm looking at the same fucking screen at this guy, and I see the AFib on the screen. I'm like, oh, okay, sounds good. He wheels me back into the front. I go in with the nurse. She's like, oh, man, you're an AFib. I'm like, I fucking know I'm an AFib. These fucking people. So the biggest problem I have with the emergency room, and I know they deal with crazy people, but if I'm fucking walking in there with a chronic condition and I tell you what's wrong with me, why do I have to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Why do I have to fight with people about it before I even get sent back to see a doctor?
Mm-hmm.
So eventually I do see a doctor. Now this is the fun part. So she comes in with a urine cup, and she says, I need a urine specimen. I said, for what? It seemed odd to me. Why do I have to piss in a cup when I'm in there for AFib?
Mhm.
I'm waiting on a legitimate reason why I need to pee in a cup. And she goes, oh, well, nothing specific. We just make everybody do it.
Right.
No, I'm not pissing in your cup. All you're doing is padding my bill, right?
Mhm.
Like, that's what I would assume.
Mhm.
So now the nurse is mad at me. They kept me. I almost feel like they kept me because I irritated them more than I needed to stay there overnight.
Yeah.
Because I had like specifically told her I didn't want to be admitted.
Mhm.
So I get up to the floor and I'm in. Now, Boonn, didn't I send you a picture of the room?
Yes, you did. Mhm.
Oh my God. It was the size of a closet. It had wallpaper in it from like the fucking mid-90s. It had to be. It was dirty. The bed I was in was broken down. Like, it wouldn't move up and down at all.
Right.
There was no sink in my room.
No bathroom?
There was a bathroom. There was a toilet and there was a little mini shower. There was no sink.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's really
So I don't
disgusting.
know. Yeah, it was way disgusting. The nurses were rude as fuck. The doctor was the only nice part of it, but I only saw him briefly.
Mhm.
The food was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting chastised for not taking my heart pills when the reason I couldn't take my heart pills is because I'm self-pay. So it's expensive
Right.
to go to the doctor for this shit just to get a prescription.
Mhm.
I don't know. The whole thing was just a fucking mess.
It's like really disgusting. So like the same situation happened to my sister. She has all my family members. We all have high blood pressure, including me. And like I remember one time, in California, the whole thing is a little bit different than Florida. I don't know how you guys work yours, but it's not getting into politics or anything like that. But the healthcare system is like, it's really messed up because of the fact that it's just like, there's nothing wrong with, paying our nurses and our doctors, but obviously, where you were at, pretty sure was pretty fucking shitty because this is the common experience in people in Florida, but we have the same thing in California. But in California, illegals can get Medi-Cal and all the the public service. So my sister, she had the same heart. She's only 26 and her blood pressure, her blood pressure is like, her heart is like that of a 60-year-old woman. So we, oh my God, for like 2 weeks, dude, we were in the hospital and we were trying to figure out why is her blood pressure going up, and it's the same shit. We had like many experts come in and check on her heart, and they can't really figure out anything until this day. She passed out not too long ago when she texted me yesterday.
Oh my God.
So we had to like take her to the hospital again, and we can't get any fucking information. And it's because the fact that she pays for her insurance, she doesn't have public insurance. So it's really unfair, in my personal opinion, that people who work have more of a shitty insurance than people who do not. Does that make sense? It's like, go ahead.
It's cheaper for me to self-pay than it is to get on one of the Obama plans that they implemented.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of those plans, like, and I can afford some of the more decent ones, but they still have a huge deductible. So I'd be paying cash until I met my deductible anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't go to the doctor a lot. I mean, I go every few months to the cardiologist and then, the therapist and whatever, but it's cheaper for me to just self-pay than it is to go on one of those plans.
So how much is like your medication that you're taking right now?
Those are really cheap. Like I take 3 meds and they cost like $40 a month total.
And the medication.
So it's not the meds. Yeah, it's the getting the meds. So it's actually going to see the doctor because they'll only give you 3 months before you have to come in again and see them. So that system is flawed. I feel like if you're getting a medication that is working for you, that doesn't like my heart pill.
Mm-hmm.
I have this heart condition. Like, it is what it is. It's not going to change, So as long as I'm not getting major side effects from this pill, I don't think I should have to go have a doctor's visit every 3 months unless something drastically changes with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know.
it's like I think you're taking the same medication as my dad, the same thing, and his heart problems like was due to his drinking. I don't know about you, but his heart problem was due to like his drinking and the stress level that he's on, and he has gotten a lot better ever since he does Tai Chi. So maybe Tai Chi. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I know, fucking zen the
I
fuck
haven't
out.
drank in a while. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely stressed, but I don't know.
And, like,
My psych meds make that's one of the side effects of them. So it could have been that too. They weren't sure. They're never sure about anything. They're always like, well, we think it's this. I'm like, what the fuck? How do you think it's something? Didn't you go to school for this?
I know, right? I go, are you guys like fucking India? Doctor, go. 4 years, go. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. I was like, dude, India, because India, the population is like really big. Like, doctor, go. 4 years, go. Neat, doctor. So it's like,
yeah, I'm like, Jesus.
It's like all these like medical assistants and these nurses and stuff, they come in and look, we're not bashing our nurses, but we understand you're working 16 hours a day and you have to like deal with our bullshit. But come on, man, you get paid more than us. All right, I see that fucking car as you're driving.
I'm the easiest patient in the world. I know. I'm the easiest patient in the world. I don't ask for a ton of bullshit. I just lay there and watch TV and mind my own fucking business for the most part. But it's always an attitude from some of them, and I'm like, I feel like a lot of them do it because it's a guaranteed employment and it's a guaranteed paycheck, not necessarily because they should be nurses at all.
Yeah.
It's really sad. Our healthcare system is completely fucked.
Yeah. And it's like it and we have to remember that it's all like different state to state. Like ours in California, we have a lot of Filipino nurses, and I'm not saying that being racist, but come to California and we could kill you over here.
We have a lot of Jamaican ones.
Yeah, and so it's like I understand. Like I don't know about you, JB, but like how I was raised is that if you're having a bad day, make sure you keep it within yourself, especially like your work environment, especially when you're a nurse. Like with me personally, I love taking care of other people. If JB was near me, I will definitely take care of her. I'll feed her, and it's just my thing that I love to do. I'm pretty sure JB's the same way. I just love making people feel better. And as a nurse, you know what you're getting into. You're going to deal with the bitchy one. And you guys know that JB is not really demanding. She's not. No, she's not. And so come on, help me out here. And I understand that you're stressed out about the COVID-19 and all that bullshit, but I'm the same way. But I never.
Oh, they are. Yeah. They were freaking out in the hospital.
They have, it's like, dude, they have like really strong chemicals. Follow the procedures, man. Put your mask on, or, especially for somebody who has a heart condition. You, for example, come on, man. Dude, don't piss her off. The heart is where the emotion is, like the stomach and the heart. That's where the emotion is. And I don't know. It's just like when I see people, how they treat other people, especially like people who are older, I was like, I don't understand, because it's just like the elders. I respect my elders, and that's pretty much how I was raised. Of course, we're going to deal with old people that are dicks. All right. But, I mean, I
don't know. They're almost allowed to be, in my opinion. Like you've lived through so much bullshit. Yeah, fuck it. I plan on being like a card when I'm that old. So I don't know. Fuck it. I fucking hate when people are mean to the elderly. Yeah. Like, let me fucking catch someone being rude to an old person. Yep. That's a really good way to set me the fuck off.
She goes, I would smack you with one of my boots, bitch.
I know. Like, if I was a superhero, that's what I would be like.
just like
I'm protecting all the old people and all the animals.
And it's just like, I just don't, and I'm the first person to tell you if I'm a piece of shit, and you have to remember, like, to treat other people the way that you want to be treated. It's really common. But I feel like in our culture in the United States, it's like we're getting away with being shitty to each other, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And it's just like, I don't really understand. Like, I would never see myself, like, for example, I remember one time you posted something like a long time ago. You were in the hospital again, and you were young. And they're like, oh, well, you're young. Remember that?
Yes, this bitch. So I didn't even actually stay in the hospital that time. My heart was in AFib again. I left work to go to the hospital. So I was way in Orlando. I was like by iDrive in Orlando. And I drove all the way back to Altamont because I was like, well, this hospital has all my info already. And rather than deal with an ER I've never been to, like, I'll just go here. They know me, whatever. So I go all the way to Altamont, which I definitely shouldn't have been driving in my condition. But like, I'm the type of person that will do literally anything I can to keep myself from being inconvenienced in any way. So I like risk death to drive back to Altamont. I walk in. There's this nurse sitting at the front desk. She asked me why I'm there. I tell her I have AFib. I'm in AFib. You know, I need to see somebody because I can feel it. It's going to get bad. And it does. Like, you start to feel it and then it progressively gets worse. So if you don't get your ass somewhere quick, like, you're screwed.
Right.
This woman goes, how do you know it's AFib? I said, because I have chronic AFib. Like, this is not the first time this has happened. She's like, well, you look really young to me. Is there a fucking age limit on a heart condition? I was so pissed off that I fucking turned around and left the hospital. Now imagine how many people were in the ER that day that did the exact same thing that I did.
Yeah. How many lives?
It's ridiculous.
It just, I don't, it's like that stupid ass saying where you remember we were talking about our mental illness on my podcast, and then somebody would say like, well, you guys are Americans. What do you guys have to worry about? You know, we have our own shit too. I mean, it's just like, I don't really understand. Like my sister, I feel bad for my sister, my little sister, because she's young. She's only 26 with the heart of a 60-year-old woman, you know? And so when she goes to the hospital and she takes her medication, oh, you're young, like bullshit. You know, it's like, okay, so we're young. So, you know, we're not allowed to have medical conditions. You know, that's fucking stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And you had this heart condition.
Or I'll hear like my physical, like my body is the reason that I'm having this trouble. Like everyone automatically assumes that I drink too much, which I haven't had a drink in quite a while. So it's obviously not that. Or, well, it's because you're overweight. Like, yeah, like I'm a little thickeroni and cheese, but I'm not obese. Like, I'm not big enough for that to be the reason. So shut the fuck up.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you're obese. Look, guys, JB, she's thick, but she's not Walmart thick. Does that make sense?
That's the funniest way I've ever heard it put. You know, like, she thick, but she not Walmart thick. But she a little thick. But she ain't Family Dollar thick.
There's a fucking difference, all right? She eats her French fries with natural oil, okay?
Oh my god!
It's like, and this is where people get like the common misconception again. They think, oh, you're automatically big, therefore you are automatically obese. There's a difference, okay, guys? It all depends on your height and your age, and like. I'm a lot shorter, and I am ever since I had my son 5 years ago. So I'm 125. So I'm 5 pounds overweight than my original.
You're perfect.
My original, and so even then they're like, you know, maybe you need to lose weight, and it's we're not denying healthy alternatives or exercise or anything like that. We're not denying that, but to assume that just because you are big, you are automatically unhealthy, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people that are obese are obviously unhealthy. Right. I just don't feel like I know I don't fall into that fucking category. Like, I posted plenty of pictures where my whole body is showing. Yeah. We all know I'm not there.
You have a neck, girlfriend. You have one neck.
These fucking doctors, man. And not even doctors, everybody really, but fuck. Yeah, so as long as I have one chin and one neck and one stomach, like, I'm good. If I can wear a crop top, like, I'm gonna keep eating pizza.
It's like, bitch, do I look like Jabba the Hutt? Motherfucker, I don't think so. All right. Do I don't
have a problem with it. Oh my god.
It's just like, you know, and this is where people get like really like I just hate the way that people generalize things. And I understand it's our human nature to put everything in categories. But guys, JB is not overweight. Guys, she's not. And it's just like, I seen some people, like a couple of my friends, they were thick and then they got overweight and they went back to exercise. Like, for example, Adele, right? Adele, I say Adele, sorry. I'm hungry now. I say I'm hungry. I want some deli food. But Adele, for example, she was a beautiful, big woman and her voice is amazing. And like, she lost weight and now people don't like her. Like, what the fuck? You know, she feels healthy.
Yeah, I don't know, because she looks really good. That's crazy.
Yeah, and like, I think it's like after her divorce of her husband, man, if a woman...
Oh, what's that get back weight?
Yeah, she looks good. She looks fucking she looks fucking fantastic. I mean, sure, I would love for her to be a fucking ginger. She looks so good as a ginger, but like her hair's blonde now and like it was gorgeous. And I still listen to her music. She's really a good example to somebody who it's not too late. And I think she's about your age, right? 33? Or I think she's 35.
Yeah. She didn't get famous until she was a lot older, and she says that a lot. You know, it's never too late to do what you love or whatever. Which is true. It's very true.
And this is why I push you to do your podcast, and I'm so happy that you're doing it. I'm like,
yes.
I'm like her fan.
I'm
like
happy too. Like, honestly,
every time like she posts something, like I'm waiting for like the last couple of days. I'm just waiting for her to post a podcast episode. I'm like, come on, bitch, you can do it. Yes.
If I wasn't in the episode, if I wasn't in the hospital, I would have done it. Did you hear, like, totally jumping around because this is me? Did you hear on the episode I did with Leon where I went to call kids carpet monsters and I fucking said carpet munchers? I had to hold back my laughter so bad because I'm like, I just called these little jits a bunch of fucking lesbians on a podcast, and I really debated editing it out or not, but I'm like, no, it's way too fucking funny. Like, I totally just called kids carpet munchers. It was so inappropriate.
And yeah, it's and that's pretty much like how like podcasting is, because it's just like it's our you know, raw form. And me and JB on Facebook, we are the same. I can guarantee you we're the same person. We're online, podcasting, and in person, because we're not fucking fake bitches. Yeah, even though our makeup's in our faces.
I'm worse. Fuck that.
Even though our eyelashes is fucking magnetic and shit, you know, but we are real.
Oh, those are the best.
I know. I wear eyelashes too.
I want to get like the actual ones, like the extensions, but they are so expensive. They're like $300 a set.
Are you serious? Jesus.
Yeah, when they put them on like one at a time, like actually glue them to your eyelashes, and they last. I think they last quite a while, but $300 is a little steep for me. Like, I get mad when I have to pay $40 to get a bikini wax. So I'm cheap.
You can't do that yourself, bikini wax, or it's just that's dangerous.
No, I can't do it myself. Like, I've tried. I have one of those little wax things, and I do like my eyebrows, and I can't do my underarms because they're too sensitive. Yeah. But I tried doing my own bikini. I just can't do it. Also, like, I can't like get to my ass crack myself. Like, you know what I mean? I need someone else to do it. You can't be walking around with a hairy butthole. Like, literally, nobody wants to see that, okay? And if somebody does want you to have a hairy butthole, I'd seriously question getting into a sexual relationship with that person.
I don't know. Like, I tried the waxing down there, and I'm like, my fucking inner fop comes on. Like, Toyota!
Oh, it's like that scene on 40-Year-Old Virgin.
It fucking hurts. And, you know, like, now that I'm in a relationship, it's just like I don't really do anything much down there anymore. But I don't know. I'm so, I'm so used to, though. And guys, this is her fucking podcast, so I can talk this way. But, like, I feel like with your pubes, it helps you, and you're, like, liquid. Like, if you get wet, for example, you know, checking out somebody, and it holds your pube. But when you have no pubes, that thing just go down.
That's true.
Here's some more.
That is very, I didn't think about it like that. I don't often have that problem. Like if I've been drinking a lot, that happens to me. But I don't know. Usually, I'm okay.
Yeah. And so when you're drinking, it becomes a lot different. But that's how I see my pubes. And you know, like before we even shaved, and I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
It was curly, and it was like, damn, I got that curl. Like it made it was just like perm and shit. 80s bitches would be mad as fuck at my fucking pubes before I shaved it. And now that I do, it's like it doesn't grow right anymore. And I'm like, oh,
what?
Yeah,
really?
It doesn't grow right. It looks fucking weird as fuck. But like I said, in a relationship, don't really care. But still, what if I was in a relationship and a new relationship? And he's like, what the fuck is that? But like, it's just like, I don't know. It just
they're still gonna fuck anyways. This is my advice for all of you young women listening to this who maybe haven't been in too many relationships. They are always going to fuck anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't shave. It doesn't matter if you just finished working out. It doesn't matter if you just came home from the beach. They are always still going to fuck. Always.
Exactly. And like we women is a little bit different. We have to be, the romantic music has to come in. I have to be like, oh, babe, I have to like put my mask on first. So you have to like, and when we're having sexual intercourse, guys, who's listening to this, and I'm pretty sure you are JB's friends, we do think about what we're going to have for dinner tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, always. I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat right after we're done. I'm not even going to fucking lie.
Doing the fucking macaroni and cheese. You're like,
yep. JB stays thinking about her next snack. Always.
She's gonna take a nappy nap in her snacky snack. Like,
yep. That's what I want to do. I want you to get the fuck off of me. I want you to go find something else to do. I want to curl up in my blanket and I want to watch Netflix with my snacks in my bed. That's what I want to do. I don't want you to talk to me. We don't need to cuddle. Like I'm done.
Yeah,
I want my Netflix and chill on my own.
It's like with back then when I was like first started dating and stuff like that. I always wanted to be like that cuddling type of person. I'm not no more as I got older, but like back then I was like, oh, hold me, touch me. After I have sex, touch me. Let's reenact The Notebook together.
Oh, fun, no.
So it's like
that dude is hot though.
Sorry.
What's his name? Fuck, Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah, Ryan Gosling. He was really hot, but then after a while he got older, so he became a lot different. And just me, how I see white dudes, and I say the hottest dude is Ryan Reynolds. Hot dude.
Really?
Ryan Reynolds. Yes, smash. Who doesn't like a funny guy though? A sexy funny guy.
Yeah. He's okay. Like I wouldn't say I'm really like into him though. Like I'm more like Vince Vaughn. Like who's the dude? Oh God, what the hell is that guy's name? He plays that villain on The Walking Dead. Yeah. I can't think of that guy's name. Everybody knows who I'm talking about, and they're like screaming it at the computer right now or their phone right now. But he's hot. I like tall and dark and like kind of nerdy, I guess. But Vince Vaughn is fucking mega hot. I would do unspeakable things to Vince Vaughn.
So like tall men, right? And it's
I like, and it's not so much the height thing. Oh, maybe, I don't know. I think women are just naturally attracted to taller guys. I don't even think we can help it. I think it's kind of like instinct.
My first boyfriend, Ephraim, when I was in middle school. I didn't really date. I didn't really date in middle school, but my first crush, Ephraim, was shorter than me, and I'm only 5 feet, guys. 5 feet, and he was a lot shorter than me, and he was really, really cute. Great kisser. Okay, I didn't really date him until like my sophomore year, and I had my girlfriend, and then I had him. So I was like dating two people, like experimenting. Like, am I a lesbian? Am I a taco muncher, or am I a wiener lover? And it was like
you could be both.
Like that fucking meme, the little taco girl. Why can't you be both?
Yes, exactly.
It's like
that's the best place to be.
Exactly, like right in the middle. And so to me, like with when it comes to women, I find them like all attractive. I can find the beauty in every woman. Aww. Whether they're black, Chinese, or white, or it doesn't really matter. But when it comes to men, I'm a little bit more kind of picky in a way. It has to be like the alpha. You're not the alpha, not even the beta, like the omega, like right in the fucking between those two, you know, like the nerd buff guy, like a Clark Kent, you know? So
yeah, hell yeah, that's perfect.
You remember when way to say I don't know what meme you posted a long time ago, but I said, you know what? I'm so attracted to guys that looks like the 60s serial killer with the glasses and shit.
Oh yeah, you were talking about Richard Ramirez, the fucking Night Stalker. Yeah.
I don't know why we shouldn't be laughing about that guy, but still, it's just like that's what I find attractive. No, well. Like nerdy guys. So like a lot of dudes, they assume that
guy looks like Bruno Mars. He looks like Bruno Mars with like a 70s haircut.
Right? It's just like, but Bruno Mars is really cute in his own little way.
That's Boone's type.
I look like Bruno Mars. Yeah. What the fuck, dude? I'm brown skin.
See, I feel like you do not look like Bruno Mars, you nutball. I feel like I'm the opposite of you. I feel like I can find something hot about every guy, but I'm really picky when it comes to girls that I like. And I don't know if it's because I am actually bi or I don't know, but like I'm kind of picky about girls, honestly, but not that I'm like not picky about guys because I like what I'm attracted to, like, which is not totally outward. Like you have got to have a sense of humor. You have to be extremely patient to be able to deal with me at all. So patience is definitely a necessary quality because I'm a fucking basket case, okay?
Well, I haven't seen that side yet.
Yeah, well, like,
I haven't seen that side yet.
I'm just all like my nickname is Hurricane Jen. Like I am a fucking like I'm a force of nature like all the time. It never stops. Like I'm constantly moving and messy, like not dirty, like messy. Like stuff's always everywhere and like I'm always starting a project and then like, oh, but I want to do this too and then like jumping over to do this and it's like just this constant fucking wind, you know, like riling everything up. So
yeah.
You have to be able to deal with that, you know? So, and I get lucky. I got lucky with that, but,
what happened was
it's just, yeah, I don't know. So I have a hard time finding girls that I'm attracted to. You're super cute though. Not that I'm saying like that I want to have sex with you.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, our relationship is like the lesbian thing. Like something's going to happen eventually. And I don't care. I was like, I don't care. Touch my titties. Touch my titties. These milks were made in Cambodia. Touch my titties.
I love Cambodian.
Do you guys have Cambodians?
It's one of my favorites.
Do you guys have Cambodians in Florida? Yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. There's a Cambodian restaurant not far from my house, and it's really fucking good.
Oh,
I love Cambodian. I love Korean. Korean is so good. Vietnamese.
So what about I want your opinion on this. Okay, you ready? Mm-hmm. So K-pop.
Yeah.
You know K-pop. Well, it's not K-pop, it's J-pop. Koreans, if you guys don't know this, is the BTS is a Korean pop band, and JB, you can look them up. There are men that wear makeup. And K-pop or BTS is the most successful boy band in the world. Okay. And these guys, these guys wear makeup. They dye their hair blue, red, yellow. And women, even me sometimes, all right, I listen to their fucking music just randomly in the car and I feel ashamed sometimes, but I love it. And it's just like, but they're really attractive. So the conversation that me and JB wanted to go with this episode is what makes a man sexy. And I'm always curious about it because me personally, the military type, the buff men, you know, that wears the boogaloo shit. Yeah. I was like, you know, that my fucking inner Mexican comes out like, hola.
Hey, boy. Hey.
Konnichiwa. You know. What's
up? Me love you long time.
And it comes out.
I just said it.
You know, and it comes out, and at the same time, you know, do you listen to Panic of the Disco, for example? Panic of the Disco.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, way back in the day.
Brendan Urie made a video called Boys, Girls, Girls. It's a bisexual song, and he's naked in that video. Like, literally naked, and he is fucking
it, like, good
hot.
naked?
Good naked. good naked.
Oh.
Yeah, good naked.
I have to look it up now.
And so some people get really like, for example, my friend Colin, and he's going to have a big boner when he listens to this. Colin is very attractive, but he's not masculine, if that makes sense. Like not masculine in a way where he like, oh, I'm a construction worker. I chew tobacco. You know, not that type of masculine, but he's
like nerdy.
Yes, and he's like really nerdy.
Yeah, nerdy's hot too.
Yeah, really nerdy.
Nerdy is really hot. You don't have to be like super like macho to be hot. Like, yeah, I'm not saying that's not hot because fucking military, firefighter,
police,
not cops, obviously.
No, not police.
Fucking,
she goes fucking pig.
No, man, FTP. Yeah, this is my fucking podcast. God damn it, FTP. So, firefighters, paramedic, like, I don't know, like the uniform thing, you know, like it's super fucking hot to me. Like a Marine in dress blues is the hot. Like I will lose it's the hottest fucking thing ever. It is so fucking hot. Or when they have the sleeves rolled up, you know. Like, do you know that?
She's like, oh, my heart's coming back.
Yeah. I know. I gotta make sure it doesn't go off. I'm gonna end up in that nasty ass hospital again, fighting for my fucking life.
This is I was talking to. I'm talking podcast with this bitch, and she made me horny. This fucking bitch. You know, I was like, but like another one that I find really fucking hot is men in suits. That's another hot thing. Yeah,
Ooh,
men in suits, they look really professional. And every time I say men in suits, they're like, "What? So you women like us having a job?" Yeah. Duh. I mean, I would love.
The fuck?
It's like I would love like the dating pool is a lot different nowadays. Like when I started dating, we were, you know, I dated anybody. Like it doesn't really matter. Like I date high status men, and then I dated low status men. When I say that, it means like the money wise.
You just mean like blue collar and white collar,
and then so the dick that I'm currently sucking, he is blue collar. Like fucking like work, you know, and it's really attractive to me. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that we like men with a lot of money per se, but we just like somebody who's like.
No, but like you have to, like a job shows that you're capable of like having a commitment with something and like keeping it, and you can provide for yourself. And it's not like, it's when women, you know, like a lot of guys get pissed because they'll be on a dating app and a woman will say, well, what do you do? And then they get mad. Or, oh, you're just a gold digger. No, for one thing, it's just a very easy conversation starter. And for another thing, like it's nice to be with someone who can provide for themselves, not necessarily for you too. The day may come where they need to, you know, you guys start a family or whatever, but it's just nice knowing that someone holding a job is like a good thing. Like it shows your character, you know, especially if you've been with the same place for a long time.
And also like people who it's just really attractive that you have a sense of purpose, if that makes sense. If you're doing something, and it's just not me when I was dating both men and women. And of course I dated a couple. And so I was there. I don't know if you guys know this, but such thing as a girlfriend exists as well. So a couple can have a girlfriend on the side where both of them, you know, I'm not saying use, okay, but there's the vibe going on. And so it's like it's like working together type of thing. It's really hot in my personal opinion. And when you agree to something, and of course there's going to be, you know, dominance, you know, is the woman is going to be dominant, or is it the husband that's going to be dominant? So it's like really in between. And this is the problem that I see like a lot of couples that sometimes I help, sometimes I don't. You know, I don't like getting into like couples business, but if they're my closest friends, then yes. But like the thing I see is mostly that they fight about is like money. Yeah, like money, sucks. Like in between. Okay, well, I want to be the top dog, or I want to be the top dog from both sides, and that's our society nowadays. And this is where a lot of the tension comes in. Whereas I always suggest to always work together as an equal when it comes to finances. So share the bills.
Yeah,
share the bills,
definitely.
share the chores. And I think this is the problem that we see, that you and I, we both have mutual guy friends that, complain about being singles and these fucking hoes, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
specifically
And so
comes to
like,
mind.
I hear these things. I'm like, come on, guys. It's like me, I like to work with the one that I'm dating or the one that I'm with. And
Uh-huh.
it's like that power hungry shit doesn't really, I have a big ego in my own little way, but when it comes to like people in my
Yeah.
life that I want to care for, or I want to be with me for quite some time, like friends, for example, even my friends, sometimes they get really, no, I don't want you to help me out. Like, so Mario Presents is a good friend of mine, and I gave him Venmo him some money for his cause to buy some water this weekend during the rally. He was like, no, and if you guys don't know that he's
Aw.
gay, so it doesn't, but it's like I love to kind of work in that community sense, and that even comes to like relationship. Like me and JB, we are going to work with each other with the podcast. So I help her, and then she helps me, and we like make appearance on our podcast, and that's our time together to make shows,
Mhm.
and we're not asking for anything in return from each other. And so that's just, I don't know, maybe that's what.
I love it. It's like a nice symbiotic relationship, like we thrive off of each other. Like no one's stealing anything from the other person. No one's, parasitic. It's just a nice mutually beneficial relationship. That's the way all relationships, that's the way any healthy relationship you're in is supposed to be. So, and of course, everyone falls on hard times here and there. Sometimes you got to pick up the slack for somebody else in a relationship. And that's just things ebb and flow. That's the natural order. Just like the tide goes in and out, But you have to be willing to work together, and you have to be willing to work through the hard stuff. But you can't take from anybody constantly and expect them to keep
Right.
giving.
There's so much like you can, it's like like a parasite basically. And if you're in a relationship that's
Yeah.
like a parasitic relationship, you can tell one person sucks the energy out of the other person. And some of these relationships that I kind of have to help people get out of is that I don't blame them. I think I think that sense of feeling need and love is common and understandable, but a narcissistic person is not going to provide that for you. If you know that they're beating you
Right.
or they're hurting you or they're lying to you or cheating on you, and it happens. There was a young woman that I helped when we, so to your audience, I used to suffer from postpartum depression. That's when a mother gives birth. And so we had one mom that I had to help. So she was Cambodian, just like B, and she harvests organs for a living. So she's not Chinese. All right, relax. She's not the Uyghurs, but she harvests organs for a living, and she makes good money. Like she made like $6,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
All right, not $6,000 a year, 6-figure a year. And so then her
Right.
husband, she dated a deadbeat guy, and it's, look, we're not saying that she should date.
It's so sad.
She can date who she wants to date, but if they cause you a lot of misery and you're hurting and you're angry and you have a lot of health problems, and they don't like put you in the decision making with your finance or anything like that, I say drop it. And I know it hurts being single. It really does, especially like after a fresh relationship and like a heartbreak. It's like, it's so painful. Sometimes people don't get off their heartbreaks for like decades, and they stay single for
Yeah.
quite some time. So there's nothing wrong with that either.
No. Sometimes you need the time, But so going back, it's not like gold digging to want somebody that has a job. And honestly, I've always been way more attracted to blue collar guys. I grew up like we've said before, I grew up poor. My dad was a roofer for years. My grandpa was a mechanic. So I've blue collar guys. I've always felt way more comfortable with blue collar guys. Because, I kind of just that type of person. Like I'm real mellow and down to earth, and a guy in a suit is nice, but there's nothing better than like a mechanic coming home smelling like, shop grease and sweat and dirt under the fingernails and, like
She's like,
love it. I love that. That's
grrr.
like, I know it, like this. The smell of a man like
I mean,
drives
you're not
me
gonna
crazy. I
smell a
fucking
man
love
if
it so
he's wearing
much.
a suit and in the AC cold office all day. Not that we don't say you
Yeah.
shouldn't.
No, like that's cool too, but you know, like I'd rather someone come home dirty and like just roll me around. So it's like so much fucking
Yeah, it's a lot
hotter, you
different, and
know?
it's like the musky smell type of, you know what I'm talking about? Like, like you know
Yeah. It's like those
exactly, like you
pheromones.
know when to. Okay, I'm gonna get into like too much information. So you guys, listeners, all right, the audience of the MaC AttaC podcast. So if you guys don't know this, I dated a different type of men. I dated emos. I was dated band guitarists, and I dated, you know, mechanics and stuff like that. But I have never allowed any other guy creep by me. Right? Never, ever. And so
Mhm.
then the current guy, Jeremy, that I'm currently with for like 7 years in about a month, he has that musky smell, and I'm like, give me your babies.
See? It's true. It's so instinctual. It's that like those heavy like man pheromones like reproduce
Yeah.
with me. Like, you know, this is the natural order of things. And I get like people misuse that phrase all the time, like the natural order of things. But in this sense, like I mean it, you know, like the traditional way, like you know, life is about procreation and carrying on that line, you know? So guys smell like that for a reason. It's to get us aroused and to attract us to eventually, you know,
What
possibly
about us chicks
procreate.
though? Like, do we smell? I don't know. I'm smelling myself right now. It's just like, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard guys say that. Like we, you know,
Comment below,
you
guys.
never had a
Comment
guy
below.
like dig into your neck and be like, "Ooh, you smell
So
good."
comment below, guys, and give us some information, because I smell myself, but like I don't get turned on by myself. But you know, I beat myself down there. Like it happens. Okay, you know, smack. It happens, but like, you know, it's like
No, even that, like, you know, like a guy will go down on you or something and it'll be like, you know, oh man, you smell so good or you taste so good. Like, yeah, it definitely
yeah.
happens
But
all
the
the
thing is, with
time.
guys though, they're willing to like shoot their fucking load in anything, really. I mean, I'm not saying that to be sexist, but it's true. I mean, you guys watch those gangbang videos, all right? It happens. Like they could just put it like any fucking hole whatsoever. But I
Well, those are porn
true,
stars,
true.
though. Those
That's
are
a good
like
point.
porn people.
That's a very good point. And so I don't know how chicks do it. I'm not saying that, you know, like I said, I have friends who have multiple partners, and so you know that's pretty much their relationship, and their relationship thrives. Like 1 week, it's like for her,
Yeah.
she gets to choose whoever she wants, and then 1 week it's his. He could choose whoever he wants, and so that relationship thrives. And we both believe in sexual liberation. That means you can fuck whoever you want to fuck. Just get it away from me. Don't share a cup with me. If you are going to, I don't know, have sex around fur babies or something like that. And you know what? I did get invited to that one time. No, look, check this out. No,
To
like,
a
okay, check
furry
this out.
party?
So these bunch of fucking libertarians, and it's always libertarians, I mind you. And like, okay, so this dude, I was about to go on their show. They had a libertarian show. I'm not gonna say for safety for him. And him and his wife choose their you know, who they want to treat uh not torture, but like, have you ever seen like those BDSM, like those, you know,
Yeah, I love
so
that. Yes.
they
Yes. Jennifer
so
lives that
they're
life.
into stuff like that, and I did not know. All
Uh-huh.
right, she looks like those typical conservative American girl. All right, I did not know
Oh,
they have
they
their
always
eyes
do.
on me, and I did not know. And I told you this one time. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with people? So these motherfuckers got a cabin in Colorado. Okay, these are not poor people; these are rich people, and they got 3 other couples. So if you times that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like fucking 3 couples wanted to use me as their humiliation thing because they fucking chose me. I did not know this, and guys, I'm marginalized.
Isn't that kind of racist, though? Yeah, that sounds super suspect to me. That's a little
And
bit
these guys were
racist, I feel like.
not hideous people, mind you, and they got a cabin, and they're like, you know, you're really beautiful. We all think you're really beautiful. You are so exotic. We never seen anybody like you before. And yeah, I get it. You're from Massachusetts. Okay, I understand. Over there, you don't see a lot of, Linus like me, right? Roaming around in your, domain. So it's like, but the way they approach it though was kind of like fucking weird. I'm like, so you guys just want me to go up to the cabin so you guys could just fucking beat me, which is fine. That's hot.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into okay, so here's the line though. Like, if you're into it, it's hot. But if you're not into it and it's something that was like, if this request was something that came way out of left field and they're like, hey, Asian, will you get on your knees while we smack you with these whips and stuff? Like, what the fuck? No. Doesn't it suck sometimes? Like, being fetishized like that? Like, that's gotta be like.
I heard a lot that a lot of girls say Asian fetish. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to it.
But I don't know. I mean,
sure, they're into linglings and shit, but like, I don't know. It's just like, it was really off guard. I mean, I took it as a compliment because of the fact that it's just like, it's just out of the fucking left field. And like, I swear to God.
Yeah, 6 people at once want to fuck you. Yeah, it's very flattering.
And the wives, they're like, we got you, a nice, beautiful roses, and they know I love roses. These fucking people dox me properly, man.
Roses?
I love roses.
No, you need to come up off some cash, okay? Fucking roses? You got me fucked up. You're at this big ass cabin in Colorado. You want to bring me in to do BDSM to me? You better come up off that cash.
It's like, fuck roses, bitch. Give me $1,000 or something. It's just like, and
not to sound like a total hooker or anything, but Jesus
like
Christ.
My type of roses. I love red roses and I love orchids and I love just everything pink and it's just my thing. And they were willing to spend thousands of dollars for fucking roses just for me to come, but
I just have that $1,000.
It's like, I could have. That one is for down there when I fucking wax my shit when you guys beat me with it. I mean, BDSM. Like, the thing is with women nowadays, like especially like the feminists. I think you're supposed to go do this like the episode with Cece, your friend, and Stacey.
Oh, Stacey, yeah. Me and Stacey will be recording that tonight. But we're gonna talk about how the feminist movement, started out with good intention, but like everything else, things that start out well, always kind of blow up. And modern feminism is just a complete, I hate to say it's a cancer because that's way overused, but it's just it's a dredge on society and women. Yeah, like in particular.
With us, I don't do a lot of BDSM. I understand like it's certain tastes. Like, I'm sensitive, so if you smack the paddle on my vagina, it's gonna hurt, and I'm gonna be like, oh dear God,
Well, yeah, but that's the point. The point is
so
the pain.
People get turned on by it, and I hear stories all the time. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious.
Yes.
So if you guys don't know this, and I talked to this on my podcast, I used to do the cam stuff. So I used to work in the porn industry, and so a lot of the clients, not the clients, I shouldn't say it like that because it makes you sound like a prostitute, but the people that came in and watched me and stuff like that were a lot of Germans. And they're into that shit.
Really?
Hey, you know what? If you want to do that, if you want to type hurt people up and just like beat the fuck out of them and they like it, by all means. Yeah. I'm going to be on a podcast with another person and he's into that stuff. He wants to be the sub and he likes strong women, and you couldn't tell at all. And this...
I would kill as a dominatrix. I should fucking do it. I would. God, I'd be so rich.
You can run your fucking podcast and you can fucking do that shit. Fuck it, just do it. Pay for your heart medicine.
Oh, like live stream, like live stream me dominating someone.
And you just couldn't tell. Like a lot of the people that are into the sub of women beating them. And guys, we're not saying beating as in killing, okay? It's totally fucking different. It's totally different. This is for sexual pleasure.
Oh, I mean, into it.
So this guy...
This is Spanx with
leather. This guy is into literally like... If you guys ever seen those type of sexual equipment that puts on the penis and it like... It holds it down and not to have it like an erection. It's like a torture device. But... He when we got to the podcast, he started out just like really strong because if you guys don't know, me and JB, we're very strong alpha women. Not more like alpha, more like masculine. We're very masculine. we have our feminine side, but we're very masculine in our nature. So he loves women like that. And so I was on there just to talk about fucking yang gang and shit, and not fucking dick torturing devices, you know? And it's really expected because I'm the type of person when I can hold a conversation about anything and I can keep a straight face. You know, it's like I love hearing different type of how people live, you know?
I can't.
But it was like when he linked me that shit, because if you guys don't know this Zencaster, me and JB, we don't see each other, but there's a chat on the bottom, and he linked me this device. And I'm like, that's like fucking plugging my vagina hole. You know, it's like what the fuck is this? But you know what? By all means, do you boo? I mean, that's what
yeah, there's so much. There's so fucking much. It's like too much to even list. But I enjoy it. I like the BDSM. I like the spanks and the choking and the biting and the, you know, like all that intricate rope stuff, you know, like the binding and.
But like with the tying though, like aren't you afraid that it might like get you stuck in shit and he can't take you out? No? Wow.
No, because like BDSM is it's a relationship based on trust, believe it or not. So you're not just like doing this shit with random people. Well, I guess some people do it with random people, but there is a level of understanding there that, you know, if anybody's going too far, you know, some people have safe words or whatever, or, you know, you agree to this stuff beforehand. But there is actually respect there. So a lot of women are subs. Most women are subs. So guys are usually pretty good about not crossing any lines. But there are some people who are into being degraded. Like, I'm not one of them, but there are, you know, like, there's a big difference between having sex and being like, oh, are you my dirty little slut, to, you know, like, spitting in someone's face and slapping them and, you know, oh, you worthless piece of shit. Like, some people are actually into that. I'm not.
Like, can you imagine, like, right in the middle of having sex with you, and then somebody spits on you and you go, you worthless piece of shit, and you go, excuse me?
My little voice. What the fuck did you just say to me?
It's like
game over.
And you're getting
go back to your fucking mother's house.
Wiping the fucking spit. You go, I do not appreciate this. Okay.
This is not okay.
And you're like, our safe word is pineapple, and bitch, pineapple.
I don't have a safe word because mama didn't raise no bitch.
Yeah.
Plus, if I don't like something, you'll fucking know it real quick. So
it's people explain it, and some people they really like it, and so some people, you know, they start fresh with the cuffs. You know, that's kind of like,
yeah,
I guess elementary for you guys. And then it's just like some people start with the rope, some people start with the spanking, some people take it really far and get their dick kicked. I don't know. That's what they're.
I would do that in a heartbeat. If you or someone you love requires me to put a stiletto on your cock, you know how to get in touch with me. Just make sure you have the money, okay? Because I am not cheap.
It's like you make sure that, you know, you're gonna let me do this, and I'm gonna fucking step on your fucking cock.
Oh yeah, be prepared to pay up front, and just know that if this is something that you want to get into, I go full force with everything I do. Okay, there's no half-assing.
And so,
here,
but it's the way that sex has evolved. I mean, of course, you're going to get like the Christians and their missionary position. That's pretty much all they do, right? It's like they're
the worst. Christians are the nastiest, worst fucking freaks. They are so undercover disgusting.
You know,
look at all these preachers that get caught with like the little boys, or, you know, the prostitutes or the transvestite hooker or whatever the fuck. They're the nastiest ones.
I think when you, this is just me, and you can jump in, you can interject. Like, I think if you suppress somebody's sexual, you know, kind of like their tastes or their cravings, I think that's a bad thing. I don't know. What do you think? Is that?
Yeah. I think perfect. I'm like the epitome of what you're talking about right now, because I was brought up very strict, and like even though we kind of ran around wild, I wasn't allowed to go do a lot of the same shit that the people that I was friends with was allowed to do. Like their parents would drop them off at the skating rink and let them stay out till 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
I was never allowed to do that. My mom would not let me go anywhere because when my mom was my age, she was fucking wild and she
Right.
was doing all that stuff. So I didn't lose my virginity until
Me too.
college.
Yeah, me too.
So and because I was so kind of sheltered and hadn't really been able to party in high school with everyone, hadn't been able to go out and do this and that, when I got to a place where I was moved out of the house at 19, 20 years old, when I could do all this shit, I was fucking wild. Like, it was partying every night. It was drinking. It was having tons of sex. So definitely when you hold someone down and are like, no, you're not supposed to do this, as soon as they get the chance to do it, best believe it's gonna
like
fucking
the old
happen.
healthy way. Like, what's a healthy way? Like, I did the same thing. So when I graduated college, I lost my virginity at like 18 and a half. I was almost 19 years old, so that's really fresh. And I did all the crazy stuff, but my sex life was really bland until I got into this particular relationship, and it's more like the BDSM and the choking and the hitting and stuff like that. And I did not know that I liked this type of stuff until he accidentally punched me in bed, and I'm like, whoa, that came out randomly. He fucking kung fu pow my face, and I was like, whoa, I like this.
This is amazing.
And it's like that when you hold somebody's, like, we're not saying for our young listeners, and I hope you put like 18 plus on your podcast, we're not saying
oh yeah, it's explicit.
We're not saying to go and have random sexual intercourse, because we do believe in practicing safe sex. Okay, practice safe sex, and remember consent. Okay, consent. And like, it made me worse because I grew up in the same as you. It wasn't wild or anything like that. It's more like my parents were very conservative. And so they kept us in, we weren't allowed to go like on field trips. We weren't allowed to go on dates, or, even when I went to prom, my dad was like, don't go on a date with anybody. And I went to prom alone. Yeah. I wasn't mad or anything like that. I had a date, lesbian, that wanted to go with me. And so I did a lot of these experimentation with women and stuff like that. Some people were like, you're bisexual, or, but, I'm more like Cleopatra. So you guys don't know Cleopatra. She is the Egyptian goddess, and she was very sexual. She slept with anybody, and it doesn't really matter. Man, woman, doesn't really matter. She liked both. And I'm more the same way because I see the beauty in everything. And for humans, we are the only species that have sex for pleasure. And so you can get that from a man and a woman, in my personal opinion. So I was the same way, and I experiment with these. I didn't party or anything like that, but I did have a lot of sexual, encounters. And so, to me, sex has become a lot different. It's more like a spiritual engagement now. So if you don't cry after sex, I mean, it's like if you don't cry after sex, it's a lot different. And so, like I said, with you do stuff like BDSM with somebody who you trust. That's a connection. And so we're telling you guys, if you guys want to have sex randomly with somebody, by all means, do the nookie, go for it. But me personally, I like to know somebody. I like engaging that with my friends that I know, if that makes sense. Like me and JB will tickle the pickle together, so like, and I don't mind like with close friends. I love close friends because I want to know who they are. And so it's not like a dating thing though. It's not like it's going to get to like that other level, but it's that mutual understanding that, hey, I can get something from you, but I'm not going to take anything from you. We're going to share this connection. Just like Colin, my friend Colin, for example, his wife, she knows that we have that type of friendship. When Jeremy's going to get mad, he was like, what the fuck? But like Colin knows, he knows that, that friendship is there, and that availability is there as well. But we're not going to get mad at each other, and we're not going to like get attached to each other. It's more like that, that chance to experience one another sexually. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
So
that's
that's how I say it. And that's pretty much our relationship too. And I'll say I don't give a shit. Like I would be like, hey, are you horny today? Let's do something. Do you want to try the Kung Pao chicken today?
Yes, always. I will eat the hell out of your Kung Pao chicken whenever you want me to, baby girl.
Let's do this. Let's do this. And like some people don't really understand that. Like when they have sex, they confuse it a little bit and they get attached.
Yeah.
And I know that some of JB friends are like that, guys, and I'm gonna fucking call you out on it. You guys get so attached to her that way, and learn how to read people. You know what I mean? Like learn how to read people. And so you guys sometimes get angry at her when she doesn't respond to your messages. You guys, that's the unhealthy attachment between.
Like, please, I love everybody that's a friend of mine on Facebook. I love interacting with you guys. There was an incident yesterday where somebody like was flipping out on me on a post that Leon made, and the story there. I know. And this guy, he was okay. Like, he's full on conservative Trump supporter, like, praise be Jesus and whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you're into. That's cool. I'm not like that. But again, like, we can all coexist. It's fine. I hate to use that fucking word because that stupid ass bumper sticker. But so he had messaged me a bunch of times, and in a way that was inappropriate. If you message me, I'm going to respond to you as long as, because I'm not rude. But these were like, flirting and stuff that was just super inappropriate given my given me and all that. So I ignored them. Then I had made a comment about the Arbery shooting. I stand a certain way on it. I think, like, no matter what he was doing, he didn't deserve to get chased down and shot dead in the street. Even if he had grabbed someone's gun, like, let's be honest, this kid knew that he was going to get shot no matter what. So are you going to turn around and run and get shot in the back? Or are you going to turn and face the person who's accosting you and try to fight for your life? And I don't blame him for going after that guy's gun, because I would have done the same thing. If I know that you're going to shoot me no matter what, I'm going to fight you rather than run away. So anyways, he starts calling me a liberal, which I'm absolutely not. He starts saying I went full Black Lives Matter, which I take as a big insult because as far as I'm concerned, that's a terrorist organization. I definitely did not do that. But the reason he felt comfortable to do this is because he knows I'm on a 30-day Facebook ban and I can see this shit, but I can't respond to it. And to me, that is a coward chicken shit move. And this kid is a coward chicken shit. So, but it all boils down to that. They get mad because I don't respond to their sexual advances, and then they turn around and they want to have a fucking attitude. I don't block people. I'll delete you if I don't want to read your fucking messages anymore, but I don't block anybody. He accused me of saying I was going to block him. What I had said to him was, like, I don't want to hear any of this shit. So if you don't stop talking to me, I'm going to delete you. That way I don't have to see your fucking messages anymore. And it's really unfortunate when they get like this. I understand feeling friendly with me, but don't come in my inbox condescending to me like I'm a child. I'm not. I'm 33 years old and I'm very intelligent. And then also, don't fucking start talking shit in public on Facebook. Because had I not been in Facebook jail, I would have handed his fucking ass to him. He said that I'm not 2A. I'm not a supporter. Scroll down my fucking Facebook page. All you're going to find is fucking pro 2A and boogaloo memes. Are you kidding me right now? I'm liberal. Scroll down my fucking Facebook page, okay? I'm, like, extremely libertarian. Really, I say libertarian because most people don't know what I actually am. I consider myself anarcho-capitalist. So, I say libertarian because people don't know what the fuck, that is. But people piss me. These guys piss me the fuck off sometimes. And I know last time I said something like this, a lot of my friends on Facebook, some of them got offended and felt that I was talking to them. If you're in my inbox and we're talking, just having normal conversations, and you're a nice guy, I'm not talking about you right now. I'm talking about the retards like this Nathan dude yesterday. And yeah, I said his name because he knows who the fuck he is.
So I didn't really see anything. I didn't. Sorry.
Oh, you got to go back and Oh, I can't. Fuck. I'll have Leon tap. Oh no, she deleted it. I have screenshots.
Yeah, like I don't So the thing how I handle shit is, and Leon and JB knows this, I handle shit one-on-one. That's pretty much how I am. So if I have a problem, for example, with JB or something, I say, hey, JB, this really hurt my feelings. I'm like girl to girl. Like, hey, this hurt my feelings. Can you explain why you said this? I want to know, one-on-one. I don't do Facebook public shit until you don't respond to me.
Right.
Then it's going to get fucking dirty. Okay? Because that happens.
You're going to get an answer no matter what.
With the situation, I did posted a episode on mine called Pamela Anderson's Actions Speak Louder Than Her Boobs. And there's a reason for that. So
that was
there's a reason for that. So me, I love friendship with everybody. And with my friends, I always pick and choose the most realest and rawest people on the fucking planet. Okay? Because they're the ones who will not talk shit behind your back. And so when you guys do this, Nathan, when you guys do this, you guys make yourself look like cowards because in our society, especially if you are a right-winger or libertarian, you handle shit that way. You duel one-on-one. You don't bring anybody with you. See, the beautiful thing with Leon is like if she sees you fight somebody, she's like on your fucking side. She's like jumping right in. That's what I really love about her. So we had a situation like that. So we had a situation like that. And I'm more of a lazy Leo. She's more like a, So like there was a situation where Leon and I, we did talk about this particular person, and JB knows who I'm talking about. He spread rumors about me. And so his wife came into the conversation, and she thinks that, see, the thing with me, guys, I don't take anybody's meat. Okay. That's your beef that you have with me. I'm a person who believes in, monogamy with myself. I don't force that onto other people. Mm-hmm. And so she felt threatened by me, and so he kind of spread rumors about me, and he spread rumors about the guy that I'm with. And then, I really don't like the unhealthy attachment that he had to me and Leon. And so Leon was the first one who got my back, and she said, hey, this is fucked up. I'm going to tell her because that if you have a problem with Boonn, let her know. And so I did one-on-one. Right. And if I don't hear you, so I did one-on-one, I message him, nothing. So I said, fuck you, bitch. And so we went on the comment section, and Leon came in out of nowhere, out of the fucking blue. She's like, oh shit. And boom goes the dynamite. and I have friends like that. And so I don't like getting on in Facebook discussion or anything like that. But one time, JB, there was a person who was really being fucking rude to her unnecessarily. Right. And she knows who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say you by no, fuck it, I'll just say his name, Lamar. Yeah. So what happened was he got really angry at me because I confronted him. Who are you to determine who's the real one and who's the fake one in the patriarch movement? And like, I didn't really understand. So I said, it's really rude that you treat somebody like that. I mean, we don't go out and treat a janitor like shit, even though they clean shit. We don't go and treat a prostitute like that because she's a whore,
Well, the background on that was that I had posted a selfie, and I feel like I always have to fucking repeat myself. My cleavage is in my selfies because my tits are fucking huge, and like that's just where I crop my pictures. Also, my cleavage is always showing because I wear shirts that show my cleavage. I don't give a fuck. Like, I have no problem saying that. I don't care. This is what I wear all the time. I don't get dressed up to take selfies. I take a selfie whenever the fuck I'm wearing that day. So he sees this. He makes a comment about the type of picture that I'm presenting. And I said, so what? They're my tits. I grew them. Like, I'll take a picture of them whenever the fuck I want, and I'll post wherever the fuck I want because this is my Facebook page. So he says, well, let me see your tits then. And I shut him down hard. I said, no. So because he got told no, he proceeded to personally attack me. So
exactly. So I saw that shit, and I was working that during the day. So I'm just curious why, you would think that it's okay to randomly treat a person like shit. See, with me is I don't go out and mistreat a waitress. I don't go out and mistreat a fucking janitor. I don't do any of that because I don't give a fuck. Okay. There's a prostitute earlier that walked in. She wanted water. I'm like, bitch, you want some water? It's hot.
Hell yeah. Be nice to people.
And Jesus Christ. When you make the argument that you should treat a person because they act like a certain way, you're a piece of shit. And you don't belong in the patriarch movement at all. This is just my personal opinion. Because if you have Christian values, you know damn well your boy Jesus did not act like that. Okay? See, this is the thing that pissed me off every time I hear that shit. And just like, I really don't like people who just mistreat another person just because. And when you made your post about the Aubrey, his name's Aubrey, right?
Yeah, that was his last name.
So
Ahmaud
a lot
Arbery.
of people were starting to accuse JB because of this, and that. I'm like, dude, do you know her fucking politics before you start saying shit like that? Because me personally, guys, she considers herself a libertarian, an anarcho-capitalist. I consider myself more like classical liberal, and I hold that position. Will I hate JB because of her politics? Absolutely fucking not. No, I'm not. I will share the same bed and the same food with JB regardless of our fucking politics, because that's how Buddhists are, and I was raised Buddhist, and it's I don't really understand what you guys are saying on that post, because I was reading majority of it, and some people were really like, dude, that was really unnecessary. I go, dude, free speech by all means, but she's gonna fucking tear you apart, and I'm just gonna sit here and watch you do it.
The reason that I posted it in the first place is because it was in the morning. I had just woken up, and I'm scrolling through my Facebook news feed, and there's so many statuses about it. You know, it was like the hot topic of the day. And I'm reading some of these statuses, and I get if you think that he deserved to die and you have a good reason for it. I get that. But what I was seeing was a lot, and I mean like at least a dozen statuses that were so blatantly racist. And I don't mean like racist in the liberal sense where everything is racist. I mean racist in which the fact that he was black was brought up specifically as a reason why he should not have been in that neighborhood. Like, there's no way that you can tell me that making a statement like that is not racist. Who the fuck are you to tell someone where they belong? So I personally don't believe he was stealing from a construction site, because the owners of the home that was being built said nothing was missing. Now, some people say, well, nothing was missing because he didn't get a chance to steal anything because he got caught. Okay, cool. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I wasn't there, just like you weren't there. The point is these two guys went and chased him down in their truck with their firearms. The son was standing in the bed of the pickup truck pointing a gun. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. It's totally unnecessary. As much as I hate to fucking say this, the words are burning on my tongue. Call the fucking cops and tell them what's going on, you know? It's not up to you to be judge, jury, and executioner and fucking take someone's life. Unless they're threatening you, your household, your family. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just kill people. And then what I was seeing was, well, he should never have grabbed the gun. And I just expressed how I feel about that. Dude knew he was getting shot regardless. You got two white dudes pointing a gun on you, and you're black in America. Like, you can tell me that I'm being racist saying that or not, but let's be honest. Like, we all watch the same fucking news. Not that it doesn't get manipulated, because it does, but come on, dude. He knew he was getting shot. So I don't blame him for trying to fight for his life. Just like I never blame Trayvon Martin for trying to fight for his. It's just...
Yeah.
Anyways, the reason I posted that is because I had seen these very racist sounding statuses, and it really pissed me off because I'm not that way at all. And I was a little shocked that I had people on my friends list that thought that way. So I said what I said. Was it said in anger? Yes. Could I have worded it differently? Absolutely. Going back, I would word it differently, but you know, I got accused of being a liberal much that
I
day.
get called if I can libtard and stuff like that. I'm used to it, you know, absolutely. And with political positions and stuff like that, you guys have to remember of the fact that you have to know what you're talking about. So JB made an excellent point. I don't remember. I think you're on my podcast. She said, don't talk about something that you have absolutely no fucking idea about. And guys, I know absolutely what I'm talking about when it comes to classical liberalism. And I've always called myself that. And when it comes to like the libertarians and stuff like that, when it comes to like the Republicans and the conservatives and stuff like that, I respect everybody's opinion because that's the liberal position. You know what I mean? And so when you guys accuse her of that without even knowing her position, you guys are doing what the SJWs are doing. When they call like Leon, our friend Leon, get called a Nazi. because of she was at she gave a speech Saturday, and people call her a Nazi, a Black person, a Nazi. This is where when you are uneducated about history and it doesn't really make any sense. So when I read the same thing with JB on her comment section, and I when it's the conversation's going, I tend to kind of leave JB as is because she can slay hoes herself. She don't need my help. You know what I mean? She has Leon to help her slay some hoes as well. And so when you guys say things like that to her, that's fine. By all means, we both support freedom of speech. But we don't support dumbasses saying things that doesn't really make any sense. Like, do you have evidence? We want evidence. If you're gonna, if you don't listen to her podcast, for example, this is why I love podcasting, and this is why I wanted JP to start a podcast, because a lot of people assume shit about her that they don't really know. Mm-hmm. So I said,
Tons. Yeah, and sometimes it's my fault because I'm not very personal. Like, I don't share a lot of my personal life online.
Yeah, and so, but I can't blame you though. You know, like, it's just like now the idea of fucking doxing, and both side does it. That's not cool, yo. There's both side have kids and families and stuff like that. Both side. And so it's really complicated when it comes to politics. And we're fun people. Me and JB, we're very fun people. I'm a little bit more serious than JB. You know, on my podcast, I'm a little bit more serious, but when I come onto her podcast, this is her domain. So she don't want it to be serious all the time. So I have to kind of accept that.
No, it shouldn't be serious all the time. We have to laugh about this bullshit. Otherwise, she'll just go insane.
Everybody's going to go insane with politics and stuff like that. So, and then today we were supposed to record something about Biden. He fucked up.
Oh my God. But I was just reading before we started recording this. So he made a comment, and what he said was, basically along the lines of, if you vote for Trump, you're not Black, was the gist of right? So if you don't pick, me out of the other option, like, you aren't Black. Now, I feel like that's a very racist fucking thing to say. And also, it's extremely ignorant, right? Because you're this old ass white dude telling somebody that they're not Black if they vote for Trump. In my opinion, if you're a person of color and you vote for the Democratic Party, you don't see what they're doing to you, because the Democrats use you like a motherfucker. Yep. They always have. They are the most racist. Anyways, so I couldn't even form like a full. Black people shouldn't be voting Democrat. Boom, I said it.
I feel better. Right. Oh, my boobies is coming down.
Vote Libertarian. And I'm not saying that you need to be Republican, okay? They make us think that this is a two-party system. It's only a two-party system because you keep voting for two parties. You gotta fucking vote Libertarian.
You gotta do your hand.
Shit.
Yeah, Libertarian. Vote Libertarian.
Oh my God. Stop fucking feeding into this bullshit. When are you going to learn? Anyway, so Charlemagne the God has a radio show on. It's called The Breakfast Club. It's pretty popular. I listen to it every now and then because I like hearing different people's perspectives on things. I think that Charlemagne's a little radical at times. But for the most part, I respect him a ton. And he does make a lot of very good points about things. He didn't so much place an opinion. He put up a poll. He had people vote. And about 70% of the people that voted said that it was an okay thing for Biden to say. And this is a Black audience. This is a Black radio show with Black personalities reaching a Black audience. So this was people of color voting. And about 70% of them said that was, it was an okay thing for him to say. But a majority of minorities are Democrats. So it kind of makes sense. I think it was very out of pocket, though.
Exactly. So it's like really the thing with me is, and I'm a person, I always, and just like the podcast we did together with personal responsibility and accountability, I hold my ground, and I voted blue in 2016. So the thing with me is, so if you go back to my politics a little bit, so I was educated with conservative values from Cambodia. So it's a lot different than the Liberal Party and the Republican Party. We had Buddhist socialists, we had the communists, we had the liberals, and we had the Republican Party in Cambodia. So my parents brought that over here. So I wanted to choose something that's kind of like in between both the right and the left. And of course, there's the Libertarian Party. And if you guys don't know this, there is the Libertarian Party. There's some are a little bit to the right, some are a little bit to the left. So it all depends on the individual and what you have to give them a chance to explain their politics. Stop putting people into boxes, basically. So with me, I always held that classical liberal perspective. So the classical liberal is pretty much the founding father. So I believe in the Constitution as well. So life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? So classical liberalism, it broke down into two. So if you guys have a chance to go on Mindwave, we do talk about classical liberalism and postmodernism, where I explain a little bit more about my politics. So if you guys don't know this, I did vote for Obama my first time around, and then I voted for Ron Paul. So if you guys don't know who Ron Paul is, he's a libertarian candidate that was going up against Obama. So I was a libertarian for quite some time. And then after that, I switched back to fucking Hillary for some fucking odd reason because I did not know. And this is
why. What was it? Was it because she was a woman?
It wasn't because she was a woman. It was because I was ignorant. Because of that. Yeah, because of the whole Trump thing, the Trump deranged syndrome. I didn't have it as bad. Yeah, I didn't have it as bad. So if you have a chance, you can go to the archives on my old tweets. I did use my real name because I like to use my real name because the fact that I want my face to be, this is my opinion, and I really don't want to hide my face when it comes to my ideas, because I want people to challenge me and my ideas, because I want to be able to correct myself. So when I always tell everybody, including my right-wing friends, that I voted for Hillary, and they're like, oh, but the funny thing is, Stevie, it's my right-wing friends and my libertarian friends are like, it happens. My left-wing friends are a little bit different. They will call me a traitor because of the fact of they will call me a traitor. God. So I had an interesting conversation with Carrie Smith. She is the founder and the podcast and the blog host of Unsafe Space. So if you guys have a chance, check her out. She's really fucking awesome. She was the one who brought up the idea. She was the one who linked me the Biden. I did not know that happened. I was like, oh shit, Biden, what the fuck? It's like the idea that we have to, the problem that I have, listeners, is when you force somebody to believe something just because you believe it, it doesn't make any sense. And this is where the liberals, who actually goes back to the Constitution with Thomas Jefferson, with being inspired by John Locke, who he took the Constitution, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. John Locke wrote life, liberty, and the pursuit of life, liberty, and property. So it's a little bit different. They changed it. So knowing that from my heart and bringing it out to my politics, that's pretty much where it kind of influenced. And let alone, guys, my dad was a radical communist. So that influenced my politics a lot. So I always stood on the liberal side. Of course, the libertarians come on our side, woo, come on our side. And I have the Democrats, no, we fight for the working class. We fight for people of color. And then I have the Republicans, capitalists, so I have all these ideas in between. So I personally just want things to work. It's just my inner Asian within me, because Asian culture, we just want things to work. That's what it is.
You guys have been through it so much. Like, how much of you don't have to talk. We don't have to talk about this if you don't want to, because I know it's still a really sore subject because it was very recent. I don't think people realize that it wasn't very long ago. But how much of Khmer Rouge were you actually exposed to as a child?
My dad played the Khmer Rouge national anthem to us. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so he hit the fact that he was a Rouge. And so if you guys don't know this, Rouge are really ruthless. I'm going to be on a podcast with McCall Jones. We're going to break that down. And I hope McCall comes on your podcast. He will love you. He will love you. He's very professional, but at the same time, when you fuck with him, it's really hilarious, and he just lets it all out. But we're going to break down the Vietnam War. And it's going to be really complicated, because what happened in Cambodia, you guys have to understand that everybody was at fault. Everybody. So I brought that into American politics. So I got into a culture of the Cambodian Civil War, where they fought and killed each other. Now I'm going to the Americas, and they're fighting and killing each other. So I always want to be in between. But at the same time, I try to be not naive, because it happens. So I kind of
Right.
hold my position. So that's why when I see Trump supporters and stuff like that get like attacked, or like JP, for example, getting called names and stuff like that, I go, whoa, give them a chance to let them talk. Give them a chance to talk, please.
Right.
You know,
that's not the culture here. That there's no respect, and we briefly touched on this earlier in this episode, but culture is a huge part of why these Americans are acting like that. The family structure is not the same as it used to be. No one's raised with manners and couth, and no one respects their elders anymore. They think that because they have something to say, they can just say it. And you can. I mean, obviously, that's like literally the First Amendment. But think there's no level of respect anymore. You know what I mean? No one cares. Okay, that's a better way of saying it. No one cares about other people's feelings anymore. They just care about their own. They're very selfish. As long as you're not offending them, like everything's okay, and everything's not okay. Everything's
what I think it is like,
now.
Okay, so when you compare Asian culture to the American culture, so with us, you have your parents to represent in Asian culture, so we're very careful what we say,
right?
Whereas in American culture is a little bit different. You can say whatever you want to say. It doesn't really fucking matter if it's right or not. So we cared about our reputation. I guess the Japanese culture is the same way because they live in a very small community. So if you compare the United States culture to the Japanese culture, they're more community sense and they're very cleanliness, kind, and their culture is a little bit more strict. It's more like a collective kind of culture in a way in comparison to Americans. Now, Americans were more of individualism type of way where we're more I don't want to say selfish, but a little bit narcissistic now in comparison to, yeah. So,
super duper.
So it's like, Christopher, I forgot his name. Oh my goodness gracious. I'll do it in the comment section because I love commenting on her stuff. There's a book called Christopher Lasch. He wrote a book called The Culture of Narcissism. And I think that's correct. So what he did was he kind of trace the American culture to the Constitution and stuff like that, and then the rise of individualism to narcissism. So he worked for Hillary Clinton. The thing is, so a lot of people are like, oh, he's probably just a typical right wing. No, he was a Democrat. So he understood the detrimental or the degradation of the family and the community because of individualism that leads to narcissism. So if you guys, JB and I did talk about the idea of pronouns. So there's like 72 of them. I think there's more. And so there's more. And so it's growing. And so I have made the argument that this is the age of narcissism. So as a classical liberal person who advocated for individualism, I have to take accountability for that. And I have to make the argument and say, hey, we fucked up. Basically, the liberals, we fucked up. Yep. We need to do something now, or else these fucking radicals is going to take everything. It's going to destroy everything. And JB, you know that if the pendulum swings too far to the right, that's not good either. And you know that. We both know that. Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's not on JB. It's more on me, from a person who call herself a liberal. I have to learn how to take accountability and fight these SJWs and kind of put them in their place, to the original sense of liberalism. And I get called a fascist. Right. I get hated on by both the right and the left. I got, Facebook jail a couple times because of the things that I've said. Like, okay, when it gets really, like, the discussion gets really heated, I understand name calling is really bad. So I try to refrain from that as a debater and as a person who holds her ground of, being a liberal, right? And I have to take responsibility for it.
It's hard.
I do. I have to. And so the other liberals, my old friends, instead of admitting they're wrong, they go to the far left. What a fucking coward. This is where they took the fucking easy way out. They're like, no, I'm not going to take responsibility. So I'm fighting both the right and the left. I was like, well, no, this is not what it means. This is not what it means. Because remember, guys, the communists, the liberals, they're not the same. We're totally different people. So when I see you guys say that online, especially on JB's post, and she knows that it's not the same thing because, liberal means free. So communists are not free per se. They're more of a collective type of ideology.
Yeah, well, that's why you have like what you are. Like you have, like a classical liberal, like liberal in the sense of, like textbooked what a liberal was always, not what a liberal recently has become. And, it's the same with a lot of stuff like feminism. There's another example of that. Things start out with good intention, most things, not everything, but most things start out with good intention, and then people ruin it, which is why I don't understand why people are still set on government. People are corrupt. You put people in power and they're going to act like corrupt people in power.
I hope that you come back and you're ready for it, because I'm going to have a guy, the coolest dude. He goes by the name of Guy Squidly, all right? So if you guys know the Libertarian Party, they have Vermin Supreme that's winning seats, and he's winning. Yep. So the Libertarian Party is going through some shit right now with pedophiles, okay? So this guy is just kicking ass, and he's a libertarian. He's going to be on my show on the Far Out Wisdom podcast, which JB's going to link down below. You guys can listen to that. And he's whipping ass every side. The right libertarian, the left libertarian, he's just like kicking fucking ass. And he's trying to go to the original sense of libertarianism. And so I'm just watching this whole thing. It's just like, it's funny. He's like, man, now I know how you feel fighting off these fucking SJWs. I go, yep, dude. That's what it is. So, but I had a good time with you.
It's hard.
And it's awesome. We talked about everything.
Yeah, we're coming up on an hour and a half. Good God. We're past an hour and a half. Oh my God.
We had a good time. You need your outro. Right. Well,
we did have a good
outro. So my outro is, as always, stay far out. So you need your own little thing going on as well.
Well, let's figure it out.
What you're going to say?
No, you're on today too. So let's see. We're going to do this right now.
So...
I'm thinking. The wheels.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much for inviting me on the MaC AttaC. I had such a fun time, and I hope we do this again. And I'm looking forward to your success. And guys, please support her. I'm going to be her Patreon, and so I'm gonna get her $5 a month because I love her for a long time. So I hope you guys do the same thing. I love her the same thing. So you guys can check me out at the Far Out Wisdom podcast. I have my own little thing.
Yep, yeah. I'm gonna put all of these. I'll put all these links. I'm going to link Boonn to the Far Out Wisdom podcast below. I'll go ahead and also link her Patreon so you guys can help her keep doing what she's doing. And then I'll have links for my Patreon as well. It's just a little bit of something. It doesn't matter the amount, but it keeps us making these episodes, and it just makes life a little easier while we're putting this content out for you guys. So I guess we'll see you next time. I don't know. I got to come up with a better sign off.
She's like,
what was that movie? And that's the way the cookie crumbles. We'll go, Bruce Almighty. All right.
Bye.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.